I started going out and people are recognizing me, people
Yeah.
are asking me for pictures. It's just been a weird experience.
Yeah.
Nowadays I feel like I have to be like at my best anytime I'm leaving the house, and it's so much pressure.
TrendyOnTopics.
Hey, what's up? I'm Raph Wangutusi if you're new here, and welcome back to TrendyOnTopics. And today with me is Sheila Aggie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
There's one thing that stood out from your Twitter: data scientist by day and content creator by night.
Yeah.
So what is data science all about, and what interested you with it?
You see, when you look at an ad somewhere, or when you say you want an iPhone or something, and then all of a sudden you start seeing iPhone ads everywhere.
Yeah.
That has something to do with data science. So basically we collect a lot of data about people, anything, and then try to make predictions. So that part of it is maybe you looked for an iPhone somewhere, maybe this person, like there's just a lot of data about you on the internet, and we're able to predict what would you want based on that.
So this is exactly what Facebook has been doing. So are you a supporter of this whole thing? Because even personally, I don't think it's right for my data to be mined like this, for someone to be able to tell what I want to purchase.
It has its negative sides and positive sides, and even in the career itself, there are activists who are against the way it's used to collect people's personal data. So I'm not for that side of it, and what I do is not that part of it, and I will never work for such companies.
But when it comes to now content creation, has that knowledge helped a bit when it comes to, let's say, you getting to know what your audience really likes?
I'm able to look at my insights and like say, okay, this is what they like. Because there's a time I made one clown video, just one, and it did better than anything I've ever done. And so I started to focus my content more on relationships and just being a clown in general.
Now, why do you think so many of us are into such? Like, it's why have relationships consumed us to this extent?
I don't even know. I don't know what's wrong with our generation and why being a clown is so common. Because even in my comments, I just see people saying, I relate. Like, have you been in my house? How do you know what I'm going through? So I don't know. I think relationships nowadays are just very, very complicated to the point where no one knows what they're doing anymore.
But what about now from your personal experience? Because let's say we all have our own clown stories, our own clown experiences. Should we really look at it as a bad thing, or is simping the way to get to realizing ourselves?
I don't think anyone has to go through. There's some things I just think I did not have to go through, And so I just started drawing boundaries, and things have been better. Because personally, I know now that I can't be in a situationship. I can't be in something where things are not defined. Just because in the past when I've tried, I'm someone who catches feelings, you know. I'm someone who on the first day we meet, we start talking, I'm already envisioning our kids and stuff. So I just stopped doing that whole thing.
Is defined a title, or is defined we are on the same page?
I feel like defined is where you both know what you're doing. Because clownery comes where like maybe you want a relationship someone else doesn't want, but there was no communication. That's my personal experience.
So when it comes to things like flings don't make sense regardless of whether it's just for the pleasure of the moment.
If both of you have said it's for a pleasure, I don't want anything more, then fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if one of you is expecting more, yeah, no, it won't work. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when it comes into you back in uni and the relationships that we form, one of the questions I asked my friend was, would you date in uni? Like, would you get into a relationship with a fellow student?
I don't know, but my relationships during uni were very complicated. I don't even know what I was doing. Yeah. And I don't expect anyone to know what they're doing. It's part of the process.
True.
It doesn't have to happen, but it's part of the process.
Yeah. I think when it comes to the process now, one of the other things that a lot of us are finding it difficult is the whole employment side of things.
Yeah.
Because let's say being in uni, you end up having so many visions of so many different things you'd like to do. How did you end up sticking to what you're currently doing?
Mine is hard because I'm not even doing what I studied in uni. And I knew from second year that that's not what I want to do. I felt like I was forcing myself.
Yeah.
So I just found myself, like after uni I realized I'm more of a creative person. I tried having an office job and it just wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
Because my mind wanders a lot, and like my colleagues are very practical, very technical, and me personally, I just think out of the box all the time. So I just knew that's not my path in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, have you seen that same trend with, I think, our whole generation?
Yeah.
Because we kind of like, or we prefer to make our own rules as we keep going.
Yeah.
So how do you think that will affect us in the future? Will we get to a point where we'll have to conform to what the older guys have been doing and we just decide this is it? Or will we redefine what it means to be employed?
I feel like we will redefine it, and we are redefining it at the moment, because so many people, like our parents' generation, for example, they believe in doing one thing and one thing only.
True.
Yeah, but for us, I see so many people juggling school, an office job, side hustle, maybe they're selling something, they have a channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that should be normal.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone was meant to do just one thing in this life.
True. So you don't, what do you think about specialization? Because I think when you talk to these older guys, they'll say we should stick to one thing because of specialization. But then they end up, let's say you're employed at this organization, and then things, just shit happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're laid off and then there's nothing else.
Yeah. And I've seen that happening to people I know that chose one path. So I think it's very important to just put your eggs in different baskets, but not too many. Just pick the things you can do really well and do them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in doing just one thing.
Yeah. And what do you think about the education system? Like when it comes to, let's say growing up, did you ever think we will get to a point where going to school will be optional?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Because there are more people opting out of it. Why do you think that's the case?
Because I don't think that is how everyone was meant to go. Yeah, because I know some people who maybe I was in school with in high school, and they just aren't good. Like no matter what, they were always at the bottom.
Yeah.
But right now they're thriving in whatever they're doing. Maybe they have businesses, and there's no space in our education system for that side of things.
Yeah.
Our education system focuses on mostly specific subjects. So if you're not good at those things, you feel like you're not good. But it's just that the space for you to do what you want has not been provided.
Yeah.
So I wish education was more flexible. Yeah, just allowing people to find their interests rather than sticking to specific things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can we say it's only school that did that, or did we also get this mentality from our homes?
Yeah, even from our homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to the point where you told your parents that I'm thinking of a different path? Because like you said, you had a different, like you realized this isn't for me during second year. How did you go about it?
I couldn't tell them.
Yeah.
Because they paid the fees, they're expecting me to continue, so I couldn't say anything until now it reached the point for working. But even in uni, I was still doing my creative things.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that. Yeah.
Now, do you think we'll be better parents?
I think we'll be more free with our kids just because of what we've gone through. Because our generation is breaking a lot of traditional things, and I think maybe we'll be better parents.
Yeah.
More open-minded. I know I will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is open-mindedness always a good option?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I even talk about this with maybe my sister, or when we're just like talking about how we were parented and how we do things differently.
Yeah.
And you're usually like, where will you draw the boundary of being too open? Yeah, it's a bit hard, and I would like to see parents who've actually done that.
Yeah.
I feel like being open is just better than being too restrictive.
But now being open in what specific things?
Like allowing your kid to do what they want. Like I feel like from a very young age you can know what kind of person your child is.
Yeah.
Because me personally, I know I've been creative since I was a kid, and if my parents just looked at me, they would know, because I would do so many things. I would always be drawing something. I'd always be making, like I had dolls, I'd be making clothes for them.
Yeah.
And without any knowledge from anywhere. So I feel like if you just look at your kid, you know what they want. You would know, and you'd be able to steer them. But some things, it's not.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe just their career path, maybe their sexuality. I feel like those are things to be open-minded about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On this whole sexuality one, I think this is the most sensitive one that our parents always try to avoid. Do you think maybe they're avoiding it because they already went through it, or is it them just plain ignorant?
I feel like maybe, because right now people are more open, and maybe at that time people were not, so it's not something they really know how to deal with.
Yeah. What do you think about religion?
For me, I was very religious up to a point where I realized it was more about judgment. Like, even if you read the Bible, if you see even how Jesus himself was acting, it's not the way the Christians today are acting. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the only thing that you question when it comes to religion.
Yeah, and okay, there's a lot of things I question.
Tell me.
Because some of the stories in the Bible are quite weird. And then also the Bible kind of centers everything on men. It's like women were just there to be seen and not heard. Yeah, those are things I don't agree with. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know anything about religion anymore. I don't know if any of it is real, but personally, I just believe in God. Yeah. Because I feel like religion, everyone has their interpretation of it. Because I was raised an SDA, and other people are Catholics, and even what we and the Catholics believe in is so different. So I feel like religion has become more centered on people, that everyone interprets it in their own way. And to be honest, none of us knows what is really the truth. You know? So me, I just believe in God, and
that's it.
Yeah.
So how do you practice your spirituality? Do you still go to church?
I try, but no, I don't.
You don't?
Not much.
Yeah. Is this one of those values that you'd embrace openness when it comes to? Because I think a lot of us, have grown up in homes where, let's say, because I'm Catholic, no, because my mom is Catholic, I need to be Catholic. I can't end up becoming a Protestant. I can't even become a Muslim just because of that. Like the restriction, just like you mentioned. Will you place this on that also?
I think I'll allow my kids to follow what works for them in the religious part, yeah.
And discipline? Because let's say with
but
freedom...
does discipline come from religion?
No.
Yeah.
Discipline with the restrictions.
Okay.
Because let's say you can only have so much freedom.
Yeah. But ironically, most of the most upright people I know are people whose parents are so free with them. So I usually wonder, like maybe when you give someone the space to do what they want, then they realize.
Yeah.
But if you keep telling someone, don't do this, don't do that, it makes them even want to do it.
True.
Yeah.
How different do you think things will be when it comes to the issue of how we handle relationships? Like I think a lot of us, just like you said, in this whole uni stage, there's a lot of confusion that happens. But have you ever worried about whether things will be the same when we're older?
I think things will even be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even when I tell my mom usually tells me about how dating was at that time.
Yeah.
So she tells me they used to she used to have like many male acquaintances. Then now when it reaches the point of marriage, she chooses one of them.
What?
But she never ever dated any of them. Yeah.
So it was just waiting till the time.
Yeah. So when I tell her there's a time I told her the way in our generation, we can be dating even more than one guy at the same time, and then she told me that's prostitution.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about experimenting?
In dating?
The whole gaining experience from interacting with different people.
So there's this period before you define things where you're getting to know people. And that's my version of experimenting.
Yeah. Tell me more so I can understand better.
Let's say you met a guy, you're interested, he's interested in you. So you guys just hang out a lot without doing much. I believe you'll still know the kind of person they are. You'll still know if there's something they have that you don't want, and you can walk away at that point.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Doesn't being with someone give you another opening than the one you'd get from just being an acquaintance?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So that goes against what you just said, kind of.
I like things being defined. It's not, but even before you define things, there's a period where things are still not defined.
Yeah.
Just so long as you both know, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So long as you both know at this point we're just talking, we're not anything yet. And at that point you can also be getting to know other people. It's not that you're focused on that one person.
What?
Yeah, that's what I believe.
You can still get to know other people while you're with someone.
I'm not with them yet. I'm just
but they're just
getting
chilling.
to know them.
Getting to know them.
Yeah.
While you're knowing some other people.
Yeah, that's what dating is, right?
That's how I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I prevent any heartbreaks or any catching feelings. Yeah. Unless now I decide to take one to the next level, then you drop the rest. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm still even trying to process that.
I just feel like that whole thing where you decide to focus on one person is what brings the disappointment. Like focusing on one person too early. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But guys, I don't even know how guys operate because like you can think someone is so interested in you, then all of a sudden they lose interest. So
yeah. But
so you would explain that to me.
But you said it's normal.
What?
You say that the fact that things are open, or the fact that you're getting to know someone, anything can happen. So isn't that normal?
It's normal, yeah. But sometimes you think, okay, now we're on the path to defining.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
things change.
Yeah.
I think I'd still answer it the way you've answered it. Because it doesn't, it looks like we'll figure it out. You figure out what you like, you're like, okay, maybe it's not the right time. Do you believe in timings? And then? Yeah. But
still, I don't, there's just something about guys I still don't get, because let's say a guy is the one chasing you in the beginning, like you're not even interested. Then when you finally show interest, then done.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things we'll just figure out as we keep going.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get into the topic again. And there's the side of you being a data scientist and content creation. Now, how is it being a TikTok influencer? And is everyone as friendly as they seem? Because it's like everyone always knows each other on that app. And I don't understand that.
That's another world, but I think joining that world just taught me a lot about people. Like you would never know who is your friend.
Yeah. What do you mean?
As in, everyone is so friendly. Everyone seems so friendly, but I don't know. We're still all competing. It's like being in a workplace. You think people are your friends, but they might not be.
Yeah. So how has the whole experience been for you to even get to this realization?
Well, I've met some really amazing people there. Yeah, but I've also met some people that maybe were trying to be my friend for a particular reason.
Yeah.
And then, I met people on both sides.
Yeah. And the work side of it now. The creating, how did you get into creating? How has it been to the point that we are in right now?
So I joined in March. I made videos. Then I had one that went viral in around August. Yeah. Then now my following grew. And I started going out and people are recognizing me, people are asking me for pictures. It's just been a weird experience. Yeah. Nowadays I feel like I have to be like at my best anytime I'm leaving the house, and it's so much pressure.
But is that pressure coming, is it only on TikTok or have you also experienced it from, let's say, even Instagram?
Everywhere.
Yeah. How do you deal with it?
I'm open to people when they approach me. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But I just don't like people being so entitled to knowing about everything, like my personal life. Yeah.
And let's say social media in itself has brought, or let's say even just after COVID hit, there's this whole thing that we got into where we feel like we became more self-aware and self-critical and all these other things. But there's a way social media affected our mental health in some way. Have you gotten, or have you gone through that phase, and how was it for you getting out of it?
Yeah, somehow it affects you when maybe you thought you had like a really good piece of content and you put it out there and no one even reacts the way you thought. Or even just seeing other creators doing so well, and at that point you're not feeling very motivated. So me, I just take some time off until I'm feeling like that again.
Yeah. And I think that whole comparison part that you've mentioned is something that I think a lot of other guys can also relate to. But what would you say to the consumer side of the audience? Because sometimes you can easily relate to someone else who's creating content. But what about the other people now? Because it's like there's a different world that you're seeing, and the world looks like it's so perfect, and like you said on TikTok, everyone is so friendly, and that's the image we see. So how do you differentiate this is social media and this is real life?
I think you shouldn't take what you see on social media too seriously. I even know some people on TikTok, everyone thinks they're in a relationship, but they're doing it for the engagement. You know, they're not really dating. So just never take things seriously. Be entertained, get the information from it, but don't take it too seriously. And we're all human at the end of the day. Like, don't think that someone is perfect. People are only showing what they want you to see at the end of the day.
How did you get to that whole perfectionist kind of mentality?
Because I think it's Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Because I remember when I was on Snapchat frequently, I used to show everything, the imperfect things, the perfect things. But Instagram is all about perfection.
The highlights.
Yeah. And some people even now want to act like that's their life, but it's not. I don't know how we got to that. It's social media in general. And just seeing someone's life is perfect and wanting yours to look the same.
Yeah. Do you think it will ever change? Like, since we are coming to the realization, or at least kind of trying to accept that this is this world, but at the end of the day, this is a different world. Or will it even be worse in the future?
I feel like it's just gradually getting worse.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, I don't know, people are still doing it and people do it even more and more. But I can say the positive side is maybe there's a time we were only used to seeing maybe a specific kind of body or as like just one way of looking at things.
Yeah.
But nowadays, so many things are trending. Okay, I think I'll take it back. I think it will get better.
Yeah.
Because even, like for example, me growing up, there was a time when only light-skinned people would be the creators we see. And now I see even Elsa Majimbo is like our biggest star, and I actually feel like it's getting better.
But when it comes to social media, and now on the influencing side of things, do you think it's still as simple as you've put it out to be, or do the connections still have an impact?
Connections have an impact, definitely. I feel like even when your work goes out there and people are recognizing you, for you to even start making money, you need to know the right people. But at the same time, if you're doing what you're doing and people like it, then these people will approach you.
Nice. So the power is slowly shifting. But when you look at the world as a whole, this is just social media. And the reason why maybe this might be an advantage is because we are creating and we are in that side of the world. Let's say creating social media entertainment. But what about the other part of the world? Someone studying mechanical engineering. You see, the gatekeepers are still there.
Because it's like, if no matter how good you are in some industries, if the gatekeepers are there, you will always be stuck.
Wow. Going back to the whole TikTok side of it, how have your friendships changed since the time you realized that there are friends for different things and people always looking for something specific?
My friendships haven't changed much, but all I can say is that some people will accommodate your growth, others will say you've changed. But especially for me, it seems like I've made such a big change because the creativity thing came last year. So it's all about people who are willing to accommodate this new me and those who are not. But generally in life, like, you grow and there are people who accommodate your growth and there are people who don't. So it's up to you to keep.
Can we give credit to the corona period that made us come to these realizations, or is that one of the facts you'll say, this is adulting, you realize these are specific friends and this is how it just happens?
Yeah, I think adulting, one of the biggest realizations in adulting is just your friendships and knowing how to separate them and knowing who is really your friend and who's not. Because when I was younger, anyone I interact with is my friend.
Yeah.
But now I know that this is just an acquaintance, and I saw on Twitter that it's okay to call people your classmates, your colleague, your someone you work with, someone you just met, instead of calling everyone your friend, because not everyone is.
Does that make it easier or more difficult to deal with people?
More difficult, but it's very important to set your boundaries. Yeah, otherwise people will just treat you any way they want to.
Yeah.
Because right now I have some friends who are getting married, others have kids, others are going maybe to do their masters. Like everyone has their own path, so you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. So yeah, you're on your own path basically, and just don't take yourself too seriously. Like, especially in this part of life, you'll fail a lot.
Yeah.
If you're hard on yourself, it won't help you.
Okay.
But I don't want to be like, I feel like it's unrealistic to just say chase your dreams, because it doesn't work out for everyone.
True. Wow. Nice, and I think that's it. So those are all the questions I had. And thank you for watching. If you're new here, please click the subscribe button. Be sure to check out Sheila on her TikTok, on her Instagram, and on her Twitter. You can share the handles.
It's at Sheila Aggie everywhere.
Nice. Thank you for watching, and thank you.
Thank you.